the ASM artist.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? As per the general request on the community page, a community tab, we're gonna do some ASMR for anxiety today. So I'm gonna be using a different kind of microphone here. I'm on my new 16mm lens, which is really great for visuals, and I am in love with using this lens, and I can get so close, which is the best part. So ignore those cars going by. Ignore. Shh. Ignore them. Shh. It doesn't even look real. As I come back into focus, I thought I sped up the autofocus, but apparently not. So I'm using a different kind of microphone here, and this one is going to be really good for. I'm going to put these, because otherwise I'm going to be leaning like this the whole video. I kind of like it better. So this is a shotgun microphone, it's called. It's very directional, so even if I kind of go back, it does have a bit of a fall off pattern. Maybe this isn't a true shotgun microphone, which would just kind of pick up any sound in a given direction. This might be a super cardioid or something, where, I mean, you can tell that you can hear it, but it sounds muffled, and it ignores sounds from this side and kind of from the sides. I think maybe it does have a couple pickups, but it's really supposed to be at the tip here. And this is also a mono microphone. Obviously, this is really good for voiceovers. So in this video, I'm going to be talking a lot, and I'm just kind of playing with this idea. I did it on a Patreon video. I want to see if you guys like this microphone. It's a lot less of a headache for me than using the Zoom, which it is actually plugged into right now. Because the Zoom has, as we all know, because I complain every video, the microphones that are stacked on top of each other. So you need to be at a different height to equally go to both mics. But that's enough technical jargon. This video isn't about me and my equipment. This one's about you. This is to help you relax and help you just kind of decompress and chill. I tried to set up a nice and colorful background, but it's subtle. It's supposed to be subtle. And so if you want to, and you don't have to, but if you want to, you can tell me what has been stressing you out. I don't mean in the comments. I mean, obviously leave a comment. It helps me out. But if you're alone and you feel like it, sometimes it's good to actually say out loud if something is bothering you or has been on your mind or is putting you in a funky kind of mood. It's good to actually articulate that and say it out loud. So I'm just going to be quiet for a good 10 seconds here, and then you can just kind of hear me breathing if you don't want to say anything. But if you do, I really do encourage to say something. Yeah. Okay. I've been there myself. Someone is gonna comment. They said like something that, of course, I didn't have anything to do with. Whatever. I don't think that worked. I tried something new there. But does it really matter to you that the audio is stereo or not stereo? Because I think stereo audio really causes more problems for ASMR creators than it helps them. Because obviously the vast majority of ASMR creators make videos on their phone, and the phone has stereo microphones, one at each end, but of course the camera is at one end. So I notice if I'm like listening to a lot of lo-fi ASMR and there's visuals and they're trying to go up in the camera and make the sounds in the camera, then it's only in the microphone on that side, and then it only favors that one ear. Now, obviously, I'm a bit more of a perfectionist than a lot of people, but, why not? Let's normalize mono microphones for ASMR people, because then you just don't have to worry about it. And if you're wearing one headphone, it's not like they're going to lean to the other ear and you're not going to hear them anymore. course, my setup has a different but similar problem in that if I want to do a visual in the or in the camera, then the mic is all the way back here, so it sounds like it's at a distance. Especially this microphone, which is directional towards me. Grab, twist, pull. Grab, twist, pull. Grab. Oh. What's it focused on? Yeah, I think it was hunting back and forth. Punch, 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 punch. It's crazy that the visuals from this lens don't even look real. Okay, I'm gonna say something that seems really obvious coming from me. But I really recommend as an outlet, a creative outlet, if you don't already have one, and you're kind of looking to get a creative outlet to kind of in a natural way deal with stressed feelings or something of the like, then I really recommend, and this is going to be a huge surprise coming from me, photography. Oh, something happened back there. I should tell you guys too, by the way, I am majoring in film at college, and I'm picking up a minor in photography as well, so I will be classically trained. So this is, I guess you can't see it because this is a wide-angle lens. Is the sound any more clear without the wind cover? Now I might be more prone, you see, that's called a plosive, and that's why we have these wind cover things even inside. It gave me chills in like not a good way. As I've noted every time I've filmed this lens, I like how it makes me look lankier and smaller. I feel like I am losing a little bit of weight from going to the gym, but anyway, ADHD brain got off on a tangent here. I hope this is relaxing. It's not really, I feel like I'm getting progressively worse with every passing video of sticking to the topic at hand, or the title of the video. So this is supposed to be ASMR for anxiety, and I was talking about using photography as a potential creative outlet for anxiety or similar kinds of feelings. This light isn't even facing me. It looks exactly the same. I can't exactly just put my finger on it or describe it, but there's just something about the process of actually like thinking about the photos you're making and then creating those photos in the editing process and then the final result you get from that. And then now that I'm going to college, I took my first photo class this semester, which has inspired me to minor in photography. This class, I'm starting to make prints of my work, which is the ultimate reward for all that, prior investment to that hobby. But like I said, I recommend photography as a creative outlet, and I don't just mean phone photography. Some people, maybe they get something out of phone photography. For me personally, I think the things that I get out of photography the most is that I feel closer to the images that I make because I'm making all the conscious decisions and setting the settings that make those images. And obviously when you take a picture with a phone, you don't have to think about it. You just press a button and it's all done computationally and automatically. And that's why everybody today thinks that they're a photographer, because their phone has the camera app. It's not the case. Photography, in my opinion, somebody might have a different definition of photography, but to me, it's about that process of making the photograph and consciously deciding at least some of the settings that go into making that photograph, because that's what makes it a creative process. For example, you can make a portrait with a phone, but you aren't making creative decisions when you click the shutter button. you can put it in portrait mode. That's a creative decision. But what I mean is, when you have a real camera and you have access to be able to change the settings, maybe you want a portrait of somebody who's moving and you want to show the motion. So you set it at a slow shutter speed so you can actually see in the photograph that they're moving. That's automatically not going to happen if you take a picture with a phone in a bright light environment, because it's automatically just going to crank up the shutter speed, and then you just don't even have that creative option to do that. Or if you wanted to take a portrait and have an actual blurry background and not one that's done fakely with an iPhone, then you could open up your aperture really wide and get a shallow depth of field, and it's a natural blurry background, and you can always tell when it's natural versus when it's done on a phone, when you know what you're looking for. I feel like pretty much anyone would be able to tell. Somehow this has got on a rant of why I don't like phone photography as much. But what I'm suggesting is, if you're looking for a creative outlet, and I'm 100% serious about this, and you don't have one that you've already found and you're kind of looking for one. I used to draw a lot, but it's not what I do now. It's not what I know a lot about technically. I do know a lot about photography, and I really would suggest buying not a new camera. That's the big thing, is there's a perceived really high barrier to entry with photography because new cameras and professional cameras are so expensive. But that's the first mistake a lot of people make, is they buy a new camera. So if you're looking at getting this as a creative outlet, then buy an old used camera, even if it's a professional camera from 5 years ago. If it was good enough then, it's good enough now. Cameras aren't getting that much better, that much faster in recent years. They are making some pretty big advancements, but if you just want to take a picture to like put on Instagram or just keep for yourself personally, you can get a camera for like $200 and maybe a lens for $300, and that's like a decent camera. You can obviously go a lot cheaper than that too, but it's not like $1,000 to start taking pictures. And okay, I'm done talking about that. But I will talk about, it's a way to express yourself. There's a million different ways to pursue photography. You could, the way that I find the most therapeutic personally is doing landscape photos, because I'm often by myself and just, I live in a beautiful area, fortunately, and you just go and you're at a mountain or a field or just out in the middle of nowhere with no one else around. It's just you and your camera and the landscape, and it's beautiful, and you get to capture what it's like on that day at that exact time. And the beauty with landscape photography is you can go to the same spot all throughout the year and get completely different photographs depending on the time of day and the season you're in. But that's one. Some people get therapy from street photography because you can capture what it's like where you live in your city or your town, and you capture life, for what it is. And there's portrait photography, which is capturing what a person wants to be perceived as. It's interesting. Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent here. I'm bringing it back. This is going to be a longer video, but I'm bringing it back for a good 10 minutes to the anxiety thing. I just happened to watch a podcast today about photography, and it was saying, I'm cutting this out. I just happened to watch a podcast today, and it was a really interesting observation that street photography is beauty as it is. It's just finding beauty in what is real and what's really there. And then portrait photography is beauty as what one wants to be perceived as, and that's a wedding. You get the bride and the groom to look. You make it look magical, and you make it the most ideal situation. And that's standard portraiture. It's the ideal of what someone wants to be. And then street photography is the beauty in what is really there. But anyway. Those are just, 3 different examples. There's a million branches of photography, and you could invent your own if you wanted. If you wanted to do photography of rocks, just rocks, like this is a cool rock I found. There are so many different kinds of photographers. It's whatever. Okay, that's enough on that. I'm done talking about that. All right, let's do some breathing exercises. I just talked for a long time. This is obviously a rambly video. I hope that the timbre of my voice, or the timbre, I believe it is timbre, even though it's spelled like timber. Can you tell I have ADHD? The timbre of my voice is relaxing and radio announcer-like and sultry. It's funny, I work at a car dealership today, and my friend Luke, he sold a car to a guy on the local radio station, and his nickname on there is Party Marty. So I'm going to say this, how I imagine Party Marty talks on the radio, because I never actually heard his show. Hey everybody, it's Party Marty here. It wasn't even good at all. Why did I laugh? I've noticed so far that this mic doesn't pick up a lot of bass, which is fine. It's a different sound. We're changing it up. But I do really like how this looks. This is an interesting background. Oh, I wish I shut that door. Because you can see the crease. And now it's perfectly symmetrical. I think we should do some breathing exercises, because I think we did this in the past to ASMR for Anxieties, which I think every iteration of it looked completely different, which is cool. It's very cool. Maybe it didn't. Maybe the first two were similar. This one definitely looks different. I'll have to do if I do another ASMR for Anxiety soon, because this seems to be one that you guys really liked, and I didn't even realize that much, because it's just this weird thing. I post so many videos, and I work on so many videos. I feel like you don't remember things that I've done, but so many people were like, ASMR for Anxiety. It's like, wow, you remember that? Okay. I have such bad imposter syndrome, like feeling I don't deserve an audience. And I feel like I'll never overcome it. I feel like no matter how much work I put into this channel, that I'll never deserve any sort of audience. So I don't know. It's weird. I was almost more comfortable when the channel hasn't been getting as much views recently as I was when it was getting more views than I felt like I deserved. It's a weird thing, I know. Obviously I put so many hours into this and the Patreon. Yeah, that's a weird thing. That's one of my anxieties, okay? That's something that I have anxiety about, but share with me one of your anxieties. You already did that, I know. You don't have to. But if you want, you can pause the video and share an anxiety with me. Thank you. And, like I said, you guys don't have to leave a comment. Obviously, you don't have to do anything. But for that part where I said to, tell me what's going on, yeah, I think it really is therapeutic to say that kind of stuff out loud and articulate it, even if you're just in a room by yourself. It brings it out of your subconscious and puts it into your regular conscious, where you can really think about it and kind of resolve the issue and how you're feeling about it, and you can figure out, I don't think closure is the right word, but it's something like that. I'm going to be real with you. I bought this microphone that I'm using right now probably 5 years ago when I first started a YouTube channel. And it was like $30. Now, considering how good of a bargain that is, it's hard not to use it and just feel proud. Because just statistically, the majority of people who clicked on this video are not watching at this point. But those who do, I always leave some sort of Easter egg in there, or allude to you, so you feel like you're in the club. But let me know, honestly, if you would have known this was maybe it was like a $40 mic, max. Would you have known that if I didn't point that out, or would you just assume it's another like professional mic? I know it definitely doesn't have as much sound detail to it, but it's good enough. Like, most people aren't listening on that high end of headphones, and then both the audio and the video get compressed through YouTube anyway before you even get to see it. So and here's another thing. I feel like the idea of consumer, okay, this is like a weird rant, but the idea of consumer and of professional products is such a marketing thing. Because, let's just give an example. Leica is a camera company from the 30s, and it's like the Gucci of cameras, okay? It's like legitimately like $10,000 for a Leica camera. And it's not that much better. It's not any better. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's worse than cameras that are a quarter of the price or even less. It's just this premium is called the Leica tax because people want that name brand. It's not actually any better. And it's the same thing with microphones, with camera lenses, cameras themselves, any kind of electronic. There is a sweet spot for what you're paying and getting the best value for, and that's always somewhere in the middle. And there's the super low end, and there's the super high end Leica stuff like Leica, stuff like Supreme and Gucci and all that shit. That unless you just have money to waste, it's never a practical thing to invest in. The point is, this $40 microphone performs fine, and I could spend $1,000 on a microphone and get one that has the same audio fidelity, the same clarity, but it would be better in some other kind of way. And that's the same thing with like lenses. You could pay thousands of dollars for a lens and it's not even sharp. And that is just, obviously, audio fidelity, the actual crispiness and quality of the audio, and the sharpness of a lens are just one factor of these things. But it's just an interesting thought that diminishing returns is real. You can spend $100 on something and you pay, maybe compare that to something that you pay $200 for. And maybe that $200 thing is twice as good as the $100 thing. But then there's another one for $500. It's not likely that $500 thing is more than 2 times as good as the $200 thing. And then the $1,000 thing, it becomes, as the price gets higher and higher, it gets incrementally, like a smaller increment of a jump in quality, if that even makes sense. I'm such a weird, like, so boxy, preachy kind of mood. Just got off work. So why not? Why not, if I'm gonna rant for so long and ruin the video like I always do? I might as well make sure you have some ASMR in there and lengthen it out. Make it a little bit longer than my usual. Also, true fans are watching at this point. I've been recording for 26 minutes. I'm gonna guess we're at something like anywhere. I'm gonna have to guess an actual. Okay, we're at 26:45. I'd say in the edit, after cutting everything out, right now we're at 21 minutes. Something. That's my guess. Yeah, I just got out of work, and I guess I felt like recording a longer video. But like I said, at this point, the true fans are watching. What do you think of, I'm gonna have a promotion at the beginning of next summer for the Patreon. And I'm thinking of offering for all existing patrons, and every person who joins in that month will get a 3-minute personal lo-fi video as like an incentive to check out the Patreon at least. And then even if a person only wants to do it for that month and then hop out, that's fine. But the point is to kind of get people to like check out what's there, because at this point I probably have 10 unique, because at this point I probably have 10 different 4K exclusive videos on Patreon that are not available on YouTube. So that's like another benefit to it. So I don't know, let me know what you think of that, or if you think I should not bother. I always give you plenty to comment about. Okay. We're nearing 30 minutes of record time. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully the video is like 25-ish minutes, or it's definitely gonna be above 20. That's what matters. I'm gonna cut out some camera rambling, I feel like, because I felt like I talked way too much about photography, but it is a good outlet. Before we end it off here, because if you watch ASMR like me, you're listening right now, and you're not exactly trying to fall asleep as you're listening, but you're trying to relax yourself, and then as the video ends, you'll take your headphones off and then actually go to bed. So right before this video ends, I'm going to do something with you, and it's something I've done in all of the ASMR for anxiety so far, and that's a breathing exercise. So we're going to breathe in for 5 seconds. No, I forgot the breathing exercise. We're going to breathe in for 3 seconds. We're going to breathe out for 5 seconds. We're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Like this. Okay. Something like that. Okay, one last one. Then we're ending it off. Okay, ready? In through the nose, out through the mouth. In 3, out 5. Okay. I hope this relaxed you. If you're trying to go to bed, or if you're feeling anxious, or anything of that like, I hope it helped with those feelings, and I genuinely hope you do consider photography as a creative outlet to help deal with these kinds of feelings, because I feel like it genuinely helped me out a lot. And there's an old saying that goes, photography is the cheapest form of therapy. And it really is. There's an indescribable beauty to it. It's so simple, yet so elegant. And it's very fascinating in that sense. So, yeah. Deep thinker Matt here. I feel like I used to go in deep thought like that a lot more often at the end of high school, but I guess I'm a more shallow thinker now. Or I just don't use words like that as much. Alright, leave a like if you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed. I hope the set was relaxing. I hope the vibe and the tone was relaxing. And I hope you have a good day, and I hope you're not feeling anxious anymore. And I hope to see you in the next video.